Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Telecast TV. I'm Mira Kangala. You're watching a conversation with General Christopher Musa, Minister for Defense, speaking about the failed coup to remove President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. All the top military personnel that were involved and political top leaders that came up together to plan the coup and all involved. He spoke about them and exposed them and talked about how he was also involved. If he did not join the coup, that he will be shot dead. He came up and exposed them. Endeavor to subscribe, like, comment, share your thoughts about this video. Don't miss trending videos.
General Christopher Musa is live for us here in Abuja. So many thanks for joining us tonight,
Thank you very much,
Honorable Minister.
Great to be here.
The last time you were in this chair, you were the Chief of Defense Staff.
Very well.
And today, you are the Minister of Defense.
Very well.
It does look like you were not even allowed to take your full post-military service retirement before you were called back into service. How does that feel, though?
Yeah, I think I had about 5 weeks, which is enough. I mean, being in the military, I never thought I had up to a time that I had up to 2 weeks.
Away from
holiday,
work.
away from work. So it's been for 39 years. It's been great.
Yeah.
So we're used to it. And in fact, now if you sit down not doing anything, you just feel like something is wrong somewhere. So you have to get busy. So I'm glad. I'm very happy. I'm thankful to God, to Mr. President, for considering me worthy this position. It's a great position. It's a big task. But I know with the love I had from Nigerians, that will continue to ginger me to want to do more.
It seems that your appointment came widely acceptable. You've gained for yourself a reputation that a lot of Nigerians have come to love. And despite some criticism against your passing, but it seems you have almost an equal measure of love from a lot of people. And people thought that it was a round peg in a round hole. But transiting from being a Chief of Defense Staff into a Minister of Defense, how quickly are you able to, or you're still transiting?
No, it's okay. The military prepares you for both sides, being in the military and out of it. And again, being a general, I was promoted Brigadier General in 2018, so I've been in it for this long. So it has prepared me knowing that very soon I'm going to exit. And so you know that you have to learn on both sides, not leaning on only the military, because once you were a civilian before you became a military man, and after 35 years, you're going to return back to being a civilian. So it's a mindset that you have to keep up, knowing that that will surely happen, and there's nothing you can do about it. So it's good you prepare yourself, and I have prepared myself for that.
My last question to you on this program when you were CDS is, what would you like to be remembered for? I'm not sure you remember what your response was.
No, I mean, as usual, to know that somebody who has given his best to his country and that there's peace when I'm in charge of security. And that's what we'll continue to do.
Do you feel that this is a continuation of the CDS role, considering that you wanted to do just everything possible as CDS, now you're transiting into being a Minister of Defense.
Yeah.
Do you think that you did not fully achieve your aims and objectives based on what you told me as CDS? Now you're moved into Minister of Defense.
I think it's a chain. It's a link chain between the two. As CDS, you are both more of military, less of civilian. Now, as Minister of Defense, you are more of civilian and more of military. So now you're combining both together. So it gives me the opportunity to be able to, knowing how the military operates and seeing that we've worked quite very successfully with the civilian aspect of it. So I think it prepares us quite very well.
Do you see yourself as a soldier?
Of course, anytime. Always a soldier, always. I'm always very proud.
You miss the uniform?
Yeah, the discipline now, you have to adjust to a lot of things. I mean, as a military man, you give orders, you go to sleep, and things are done. Now, you have to also make sure that you monitor what's going on here and there. But it's all fun and it's exciting.
So you're a politician now?
And I've not transited yet. I'm still,
you're a politician in transition?
In transition now, yes.
So you're not a member of the APC?
Not yet, but I think I will be. Definitely, APC has given me the platform to present myself right from as CDS till date, so why not? Mr. President needs all the support. I totally will give him all my support. Whatever I can do to make sure that he succeeds in his tour of duty, including moving forward to the second term, I think I'll give him my very best.
There are things that are common to the military profession: precision, straight answer, command and control, order. But being a politician, it's the direct opposite.
Yes.
Now, when you give an order now, you tell civil servants, you chase them around, and you monitor, you do this, and you play a bit of politics, you diplomacy. But as a soldier and as a military officer, as a commander, from being a battalion commander to being a full general, you were always giving an order. An order will be maintained in total. But this time around, you have to play politics, diplomacy, and all of that.
All of it flows. And like I said, the armed forces actually prepares you for that, to know that it's not always everything every day that you win or every day that your orders are taken, but you have to know how to go about it. And I think that's very important. There's this prayer I've always learned, God to make me change the things I can change, to understand the things I cannot change, and the difference between the two. Because it's always good for you to understand that you are in a different environment, so you have to really look at it. But again, not compromising who you are in order to get results. I think that's very critical.
There are those who think that you were compensated for some reasons by the president. Did you help in saving his life during the coup?
Well, I don't know about compensated. I know the president is always, he has eyes in picking out the best for whatever it is doing. And so I think I'll put in some things that he thinks I have other things to also add up. So for me, I'm ever grateful to that, for him considering me worthy to do that. And so I'll continue to do my best for my nation, for the president, to show that he did not make a mistake, that it was for real for what he has done. So for me, it's not a compensation. It's just there knowing that he understands that what we are doing, we were sincere, we were deliberate about it, and wanted the best for our country. And I think that's what works with it.
You were also instrumental in helping save his life and some of those who would have been killed in that planned coup.
As always, I was also a target, I am sure you know.
You were supposed to be locked up.
Now, I was supposed to be arrested, and if I refused, I was supposed to be shot. But that's the job. And anybody who goes into coup, I mean, zeros his mind, because you know you succeed, good. You don't succeed, whatever consequences come, you're ready for it. But then again, I think these guys were just a bunch of very unserious individuals that really don't know. If you look at the caliber of the individuals, if you look at, I don't know what got into their heads to think that they could take on the armed forces like that. What I even said was, even Nigerians will have fought them. Even without the armed forces, Nigerians will have stood against them. Remember, Nigerians have fought against the military rule for quite some time. And that's where Mr. President has always been one of them. So now for them to think they could just wake up one morning and do that in Nigeria, I think something went wrong in there. They need to reset their brains.
And you have said that they knew the consequences.
Oh, definitely. Most definitely.
Are you able to capture all of those who were said to have been involved?
So far, most of them have been caught. If there's anyone, maybe one or two, but most of the you know, and it just started from the colonel himself, who feels disgruntled because he was not promoted. He didn't meet the marks to be promoted. You know, the armed forces is really very strict about its promotions system. So he didn't make it. And so what he decided to do was to probably go around, look at other people that had one issue or the other, not promoted or feel that they were not posted rightly and all these things, and they tried to bring them in. And my pain is all those young officers that didn't understand what was going on, that he had put in this mess, and now they have to face the consequences.
But a lot of money was committed to that coup.
Yeah,
plot.
Of course, yeah. But again, that was money towards him particularly, and so it was everything around him as an individual. It's just a colonel. I can't imagine a colonel even ever thinking of doing such a thing.
Well, I mean, in the military days, there were young, people of that age.
That was in the past. That was Nigeria of yesteryears.
So it's difficult.
It's impossible.
Why was it difficult for the military to detect that coup plot early enough?
No, but you see, one thing about it is there are speculations. But you don't work on speculations, you work on facts. If there's a speculation you hear that somebody is trying to do something and you work in, what facts do you have? Because you are going to go to the courts. If you can't present it to the courts, then they throw it away and then you look stupid. So things were being monitored until when we were sure that these are things, and then it's moved in, and these facts are very, very clear. And what we try to avoid is we don't want any innocent person to be indicted for whatever reason. So it was painstaking. Since I was there, I was the one who inaugurated the board. I made sure the board started. We sent them to DIA to do a thorough investigation, and together with all the NIA, the DIA, DSS, and every other person. So it's a holistic investigation that we carried out because we didn't want any innocent person to be indicted.
From what we were gathering, information coming to light seems to be that there's been this attempt and this internal disgruntlement, if there is anything like that, since about the 29th of May 2023.
Yeah, that's why I try for people to understand that it wasn't done because they think the government wasn't doing well. These things were planned even right before the president took office. So it had been a plan they had ahead of it, since they knew he was the one who won the elections. And for whatever reason, they've been hatching such things behind. And it's quite unfortunate.
So it would have been a bloody coup.
Well,
and that, based on the plan.
Based on the plan.
To remove everyone in the line of succession.
But the ability to execute it is one thing that I know that probably they thought they were in some other country, not Nigeria.
So it's difficult to get that done in today's Nigeria.
Yes. But if you remember, during those days when they had coups, you have to have most of the big ones. You have to have GOCs or service chiefs with you, because those are the guys that control and monitor what's being done. You don't have any of such. They are just very low-ranking individuals that have no access to some of these things. So for them to have even thought about it, I think something really, really went wrong in their heads.
But has the military been able to detect what could have been some loopholes within its ranks based on it? Because if the fact coming out, or some of what we're hearing, is that they infiltrated the Aso Rock Villa to that extent, and they will add some insiders working with them, and they have even paid some of them.
So you see, the world has the good, the bad, and the ugly everywhere. In every aspect, you find those things. So nobody, no situation, no community, nowhere you find everything 100%. There will always be people like that. There will always be people that will never be satisfied, no matter what you do. So it's for us to now keep monitoring, making sure that our troops are doing what they're supposed to do. Every officer, every soldier knows his responsibility and carries it as... the country is doing so much for us. So for anybody to want to truncate democracy in this dispensation, I think there's something really wrong with them.
So you've plugged the loopholes now?
No, very well. Yeah.
It's almost impossible to carry out a coup in this country as
almost
it is
impossible,
right now,
yes.
within the military.
Within the military. The military is one unit. That's one thing I can tell you. The military is one unit. And what touches one touches every other person. So we always are looking out for this kind of people that are always disgruntled, trying to take advantage of the situation for themselves.
What about the outsiders outside of the military that were part of the connivers, those who funded them?
There's always been, in the military in the past, even when we had coups, most of them were instigated by the civilians themselves, trying to push because they think they don't have opportunity, so let them take it by force so that they can come in. It has never worked, at least not even now, and it will not work again. Nigeria is far gone beyond that. Democracy is what we stand for, and we'll continue to support democracy.
The said civilians are still at large.
Very well.
What are the hopes?
Then the world. Interpol is already contacted. Interpol is getting them. They will get them. It's just a matter of time.
Why would anybody want to? Because some of the names allegedly that have been fingered are probably members of the APC family. Suspected and alleged names that have been brought up, and one will be wondering to what extent, like
I told you, people some individuals are greedy. These are people that have had opportunities in the past, and probably they feel like without them things wouldn't go, and so they need to be there. It's just self-centeredness and greed, and the consequences are always there.
On the inside, there are those who say this was not the first idea since President Bola Tinubu took office. Has the idea of coup been wrested and killed within the military as it's currently faced?
Yeah, since the president took over, apart from this, there's never been any other one. And I think, like I told you, it started before he took over. So it wasn't that it was during this time that they started. It was just that we monitored them until when it was ripe, and then they were arrested.
What is happening to the families of those who are now arrested? Their names are out there.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of checks will have been done on them. Possible that those who now vicariously now be responsible, knowingly or unknowingly, and those who think whether or not justice will be served in this case.
These are part of the consequences. Sometimes you do these things and forget that you have families, those that will bear the brunt. And your wives, your children, the family members, the name, that anybody that's associated with them, You can imagine if he's your best friend and you understand how you feel, that this somebody you know, you thought it was like this. And but what we do is that we have informed them about so there's clarity about that issue, and whatever it is that has to do with their own welfare, the armed forces making sure that they get there, so that it shouldn't impugn on them too for something their spouses have acted on.
One is worried how that gentleman escaped custody. One of the arrested, he was rearrested.
He was rearrested almost immediately. It was just, this has happened, like I said, as humans, nothing is 100%, but he was arrested just immediately.
But why did the military deny in the first place?
It wasn't denial. You know, it was, what happened was that when the arrest started, now, once you mentioned coup, yes, you will never get most of these guys, because they know the consequences. And the truth about it is that we wanted to be sure what was it, because, you know, we say it was an act of discipline. And it's all part of it, because for what they did, started like that. So it was during the investigation that these things got, you know, revealed. And so it was important for us to follow the steps to ensure that what we are reporting is direct, because coup is such a serious thing that we don't want to say this today and then tomorrow we'll say it is not. It's better we say no for now, then after investigation we'll say yes, we have found out that this, and these are the people, and these are the facts. And I think for everybody it's very clear.
Has the president properly been briefed about this?
Of everything we have been done, the president is fully informed about it.
So, there are footage of the Aso Rock Villa, the area view. I don't know if you have ever seen it. Those who will say there is some questions as to the fortification of that area. And those who will wonder why there's some kind of lax around what should be probably the most fortified place in Nigeria. And when this happened, those who will say, yes, we said it, that there is a problem around that. And you saw the attack on the Guards Brigade some time ago, about 2 years ago. Some members of the Guards Brigade were attacked, and those who are asking questions
were on operation.
Were on operations. But, I mean, these are elite squad.
No, but I mean, naturally, I mean, if you look at the history of war, nobody is immune to it. Especially when you are fighting, you take casualties. That's natural. Because you're fighting a war. The enemy too wants to stay alive, so he does everything to take you, and so is your ability to take him out as quickly as possible. And regards the pictures and that, well, you know, like I said, there will always be opportunities like that for people. Some people might just have snapped, not because they wanted to use it, but they saw an advantage that they could use it. So there's no laxity in there. It's really, really fortified. Before you could get in, I mean, you go through several searches and all these things. So I think it's just one of these things. But again, this has also awakened that we need to also do more to ensure that we avoid such things.
We understand that there is a reorganization of the president's security since after that happened.
Yes. That's what such things do. They tell you that, look, they show you where their weaknesses and then you strengthen them up. You remember, so many times White House people have broken into White House. Even the Queen's, somebody went to her bedroom twice or 3 times. So you can never really have any iron tight. There must be always one thing or the other. So, but I think we're taking measures that will ensure that this doesn't happen.
I grew up mostly around the military era, so and I've read so much as a student of political science, the military interregnum, and perhaps one that scared me the most and still really affecting us politically speaking is the Kaduna Nzogu-led coup. And the ethnic, the dialectal tonation to that coup and what it has caused today in Nigeria, the distrust. And that, if, God forbid, if that coup of last year had happened, that could have taken a similar
of course,
dimension.
Nigeria, you know, that's always the problem.
Have you learned any lesson for not only the military, but also the political dimension in which that kind of action could have caused? Because it's a pattern and it's a very dangerous one.
Very dangerous. Yeah, but the good thing about it is that Nigerians must understand that we must all be alert to what's happening in our country. Everybody must pay particular interest in what's going on and ensuring that our politicians do what they're supposed to do, because sometimes some of these things arise from one perception or the other. And you know, perception is dangerous. Sometimes you could be doing very well and people could perceive that it is wrong for whatever reason. And this didn't start today. It didn't even start during the coup. the setup of Nigeria right from the beginning started from that aspect, those pillars that everybody wanted to be on his own. But I think we should go beyond that. I personally, on a personal level, I feel pained when till date we sit down and say it is because the colonial master did this. For heaven's sake, we are how many years? 60, thereabout? And we're still complaining about the same thing. We should have moved forward from that, far, far away from that. And you know, they said, the psychologists say, if a madman tells you he is mad, he's 60% okay. If we know that we have a problem, address this issue. Instead of continuing to every day, it is because it is north, south, east, west, it doesn't do us any good. And for how long are we going to continue like this? When you travel out, you see countries moving forward, even smaller countries. See what's happening in Ethiopia. See how they are transformed. We're not worse off in all these things. But sometimes we have few individuals that always want to bring out this issue. And I tell you, they're really, really very few. So we need to work on our strategic communication for people to understand. Very few people will give us bad names in this in the world. Very few. But we don't celebrate the good ones. And so, you know, once you don't do that, now you give opportunity for the bad ones too. You know, so I think it's important. If you sit down to read Nigerians that are doing so well all over in every field, I mean, it's amazing.
Not because Larry Onilu is a Kwara man, because Kwara people are always doing excellently well. Not because I come from there, but anyway, as being described as a very ineffective agency of government. But under Larry Onilu, I think they are doing amazing in the orientation and some of the value information that they are bringing about the unity of this country. And one must applaud, I mean, whoever the person is, if you are doing something totally off the curve, and, you know, there seems to be a change in the manner and the pattern in which things have changed. And the reason why I asked that question is that, politically speaking, there are those who have not forgiven another set of people for whatever happened in the Kaduna and Zioguku. Whether or not that was an ethnic coup or not is a different debate entirely. But the composition, ethnic composition of these guys, whose name, the 16 officers that are being arrested, the composition, the ethnic and the regional composition of these people is suspicious. Do you think it's a deliberate association of these people?
I don't think. I think probably,
or it's an accident.
I think it's just an accident. I think he met just people that were around him, and it so happens. You know, the military is so like a family in that sometimes where you operate are people that you know around that area. So probably that's what happened. I'm not saying for him, but the truth about it is that I think they were just very stupid going about what they did, and they're going to pay dearly for it, because I mean that's just what happens. You take action, want to do a coup, you should be ready for the consequences, and that's just the important thing. The ethnic correlation, that's why I said we cannot now, 2026, still be talking about Biafran coup, civil war, and all that. We should learn the lessons. By now, we should use those lessons and avoid those things that got us to doing that. So many people were killed on both sides. Everybody took casualties. Everybody lost something. But now we cannot continue to dwell on that, because it will keep us down as individuals. And no nation develops when there's an internal wrangling. The present regime, Mr. President, has taken some very, very bold actions. And people are saying this and saying that, but the truth about it, things are picking. I mean, what's the dollar today? It's dropping. For the first time, we're having that issues on the ground. So many things have been introduced into governance. Things are picking up gradually. Some people might not like it. Whatever you do, they will always tell you it is not good. It is that. Mark those individuals. Are individuals that have benefited from the system for all this while. And once they're out of it, they feel secluded. And that's what's bringing it. But what I'm saying is that, look, especially to our elders, religious leaders, our traditional rulers, I think it's time up. Let us give the new generation a new feel. Let's not poison their minds with what has happened in the past. Mistakes have been made from both sides, from all angles. Do we still continue to dwell on those mistakes? No. Let's draw a line and say, look, that was the past, this is the present, and we're going towards the future. And I think that's very critical. If you read the history of China, when Chairman Mao came, the same thing he did. He said, look, whatever it is that happened, that was old China. This is new China. Where is China today? We can achieve that because we have all the indices to make us succeed.
You look at the pattern, like I said, you see what has happened in the sub-Saharan Africa, see the coup, see a lot of, and in fact, that will drive some messages to think that if it happened there, it might happen. And I like the confidence the reassurance that you are giving to Nigerians that never can a coup be successful. And we pray it. Those of us who have seen it, those of us who have experienced it, know that if it's bloody or bloodless, the advantage of a military intervention in our democracy is worse than anybody can.
And you remember again, just to cut in, that these countries are all francophone countries. They are not Anglophone.
So there is a pattern there.
So as it is within the region, where the only most balanced democracy on ground, yes, Ghana is there. Remember, just a few weeks ago, we had to step in to stop the coup in Benin Republic. I mean, that was timely. It happened in the morning, on Sunday morning. I was going to church when the issue came up. We stood there, fought it by evening. We had secured the whole place. And our troops are still there. We're just about pulling them out. So to tell you what capacities we have and what we can do. And so going to that also brings me to the issue of going to visiting Turkey and some other friendly nations. We must build our own capacity so that we can do so. We can secure our region, secure our country, and Africa in general.
So it was the president of Benin Republic that called our own president.
Yes, of course.
For help.
For help, definitely.
Because there are those who say that we are acting a French...
Not at all.
So it was a direct...
It was a direct call from
Mr. President.
There was no way we could have taken an action without the president's approval. So he called directly to Mr. President. Mr. President called and gave the directive. And then we called the troops and we moved in quickly. Within 12 hours, we already moved in and were able to secure the area.
Interesting. Let's go away from coup. Let's move to... I was quite intrigued, and I saw some pictures of you touring in Turkey, and quite interesting for a lot of people who know not so long ago history of Turkey and what they have done for themselves as a country. But first and foremost, let's begin from the point of education. What exactly was the deal, defense-wise, that was signed? I saw you behind the president in the exchange of the agreement document.
Yes.
What did we sign with Turkey?
It's now putting pen to paper to our friendship, military cooperation together. So it has to do with military education, exchange of our officers and troops, training. They sending their personnel here, we sending us. We do that with a lot of countries that we do together with. Then production of military hardware together. I was in Turkey 2015. And going down last week, I mean, it's remarkable what they've been able to they've transformed themselves from somewhere to where they are today. And I think that's what we want to leverage on. So we signed that again because of our defense industry cooperation. It's been 62 years now. We've not really done much. So, but what they have done, we want to replicate them. So co-production of military hardware, training, availability of spares, because we bought some equipment from them. We needed to make sure that we have maintenance and training and all this to maintain those things. So it's a whole holistic issue for us.
Turkey, globally speaking, and you can tell us more about it, they rank very high, perhaps in the top 6 countries with the capacity to produce military hardware.
Very well.
And what is the level of sophistication? Because Turkey is highly sophisticated right now,
very
military-wise, in terms of air power, ground power,
sea power, everything.
They are very... What is new that we have gotten from Turkey?
Now, like I said, now we've made it very official. So now they can come here and we produce together. Because what we told them is we don't want the aspect of every time we go and buy equipment and come down. No. This time around, we want to use our own DICOM, come here and produce those equipment so that we too can build our own capacity. We're sure if we're able to do that, we too can reach out to our neighbors within the region, within Africa. Employment opportunities will be there, saving of our foreign exchange and all this. And so it gives us that leverage to continue to work together with them. So those are the aspects, and they're really sure that what they want to do is not only sell, they want to transfer the technology. And that's very important. Most areas you go there, they hide technology from you, but they will transfer those technology. And we have capacity. Whatever it is that we get, we can fine-tune them to make them a Nigerian-owned or equipment for our own operation. So I think those are, and like I said, we've been fighting insurgency for 17 years, still counting. They fought for 40 years. They're just signing agreement with with the terrorist groups, because the terrorist groups have realized that there was no way they were going to win. And so we want to make sure, we don't want to wait until 40. We don't want to wait until 20. As quickly as possible, we want to end this. And it is when we produce these equipment, because part of the challenge we're having, because we don't produce the equipment we need. So sometimes it makes it very, very difficult. So if we continue like this, we'll improve. And you can see that the troops are now moving all over the country. We're fighting them every day. We are winning. We just killed some of their commanders just last night. So it's work in progress. But all we need is for Nigerians to come in together and continue to support it. And I'm very happy. The support now has improved, unlike how it used to be in the past. Now you see the rate of people castigating the military has really gone down. Now people want to encourage, because that's how it is. And I tell people, if Nigeria fails, everybody goes down. So if you are praying for Nigeria to fall, which means you're also praying for yourself to go down, which is, I think, will be foolhardy.
So, in terms of the hardware that we get, are we getting intelligence?
Intelligence, yes. We're sharing our intelligence because, again, they have a very, very good intelligence system, because, they are midway between Europe and Asia. So some of these guys, mentioned that some people are getting support from the outside. They will be able to leverage and give us those, so that we can know the areas of funding, the areas of logistics, their command structure, and all these things. So that will help our intelligence.
Our baseline for intelligence surveillance is satellites.
Yes,
we have we have a bit of handicap there, and that takes a longer time.
We have one, but it doesn't give us what we need.
It takes about 4 days to round trip.
Yes,
and
what we need is real-time intelligence. That you are seeing what's going on, you'll be able to take up. Because asymmetric warfare is a very, very difficult warfare. Why? Because the enemy is within. The enemy is even your own. Somebody you think you are protecting, but you don't know that he is one of them. So that's why it's difficult. And for you to avoid collateral damage or killing innocent people, you have to be very precise. It's that precision that makes it very expensive.
Do we have a low-hanging fruit promise about the possibility of surveillance? Because that's very key.
No, very well, yes.
Because it takes a longer time. The response time during an attack, and there are a lot of people, security trained people will tell you that sometimes attack is not as important as response time.
Yeah,
Yes, you may be attacked under. I remember one time going to the White House, and we were being, as a tourist, we're being informed that yes, if there's an attack on the White House or on the Congress, it takes less than 5 minutes for response. In form of a whole battalion to almost descend.
Yes.
So that is very.
Those are developed economy, and those are the things we're equally working for. Okay. Like the idea of having your quick response. What do you need? Helicopters, drones, MRAPs, light infantry vehicles that you could move short term. Now, part of the problem, again, that is affecting us, infrastructure. I can tell you, most of the locations where we operate, for you to cover 10 kilometers will take you 6 hours. 10 kilometers. Because most times you have to get somebody with a hand prodder ahead of you checking for IEDs. On foot, you have to, if you make the mistake on stepping on any IED, everybody in that vehicle is dead. It's gone. So that's why it makes it extreme. So when people sometimes say, no, the response was, and again, what they do, once the troops are here, people tell them troops are here, they go to an isolated area. Now, most of the attacks you are seeing now is because the heat was on them, they are running away, and as they are running away, any village they come across, they want to just make that statement that they're still alive, they're still here. So they touch 1 or 2 places and take off. And then that's the news that comes. So it makes it look as if nothing is being done. So much is being done, I can tell you. Our commanders and troops are working tirelessly day and night. And that's very
How soon do we need to, are we able to sight the Turkey technologies on the ground?
No, I think very soon, very soon. Some of them are ready. We are working on the papers now. On the signings have been done. We'll do some discussions, do training, and build up this. Some of them are quick things that will come in, and we're going to deploy them as quickly as possible.
What about problem of integration? Because we have U.S. technology, we have Russian technology, some Chinese technology.
They have a common base. So what we do is that we do specific training for those equipments. We already have 6 of Turkish helicopters that are doing extremely very well. We've trained pilots already, so we have trained more pilots. Once we have additional ones, the pilots will take on into those things. The drones are there. We do so for everything. We prepare well ahead as the process is being done, because some of these things are not found on the shelf. It is when you discuss and the payment, then they start producing, because it's specific to your area. And so as we're doing that training, also going spares, maintenance system and all this, so that by the time they are coming eventually, you're already ready to go through.
All right. And so night vision, infrastructure is also in place, because this guy
is a comprehensive.
So there is a handshake. They are talking. All the technologies are talking to each other
completely.
So it is us our pain, because Turkey is now our friend.
Oh, yes.
Does it? I hope it doesn't annoy the U.S. because I see some American based on the NSA's and his team's trip to the U.S. We're now seeing some benefit of that. I saw you also in that meeting at the working group.
Very well.
And I've seen that there are deliveries of American equipment, warfare equipment that have also already landed. So we're getting a lot of help.
Very well. You know, Nigeria is a non-aligned nation, which means it allows us to partner with everybody. Once we are a friendly nation to us, we are friends, so we can relate directly. And that's why we can deal with China, we can deal with Turkey, we can deal with America. Because the idea of you just isolating yourself to one group is not the best for everybody. You can see in Egypt, they have support from every other, and so everybody does that. So it's important for you to keep that leverage on yourself, so that you can continue to move. And I think that will help you.
What I'm also worried about is I saw the Minister of Interior, which tells me something that this is going to be holistic if we get it right.
Yes.
Is the border control mechanisms.
Correct.
The technology to remotely control our borders, and being told that we have technologies to the extent that we know what is happening at our airports, at our seaport to an extent. I don't know how much we have covered technology-wise on our land borders, which is our
fantastic.
What have we done?
No, we've done so much. Yes, you remember I visited the Minister of Interior because the important thing for security, interior and defense, foreign affairs, these three must, in every nation, they must collaborate, they must work together. Because, I mean, data, we're talking of having data. Now we have the leverage of technology. If we're able to leverage on it, we'll be able to know who is coming in and who is going out. Now, Turkey has done extremely very well. Remember, Turkey, they share border with Syria, with Iraq. These are serious countries that they need. So, and they've taken measures. Some areas they've fenced it physically. Some areas they've used technology.
Are we doing that? Are we fencing physically?
Well, it's one option. It's one of the options we're looking at. There are some areas, because of the critical nature of the area. You remember we have the wall between Mexico and US. So it depends on how you assess your assessment on your security demand. Because when you fence an area, it gives you the leverage to not to keep your men. So you just fence it. You have cameras, you have drones. If anybody is bridging it, what it does is people can really react as quickly. And that's what you see most times when you watch what's happening in the Mexican border. Once people are doing, you see that troops will move in quickly, border control will go in. And so
are we getting anything in terms of border control?
No, very well. It's all part of it. Yeah, that's what Minister of Interior.
How soon is that happening?
It's work in progress. You know, it takes a lot of infrastructure to calculate. Like we mentioned, 1,500 kilometers. Our most critical border is the one with Niger Republic. We have about 1,600 with Cameroon. Some of it is riverine because of the maritime environment. So they all have system they've adopted to their own area and is working for them. So you have people that are already implementing these issues. Israel too has some of these things. China too has also. So we will look at these things holistically, see what is best for us to apply. And I think it's very important. There we must control our borders. But again, data
is key.
Database is key to everything we're doing.
All right. Do we even have a command and control center?
We have. I think the Minister of Interior has some, but I think at the level we think we need to have a holistic one. So regionally we'll have, and then we'll have one at the center, probably in Abuja, that will now look so that you can do back check.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's
give me a moment, Minister. General Christopher Musa is the Minister of Defense, is speaking with us on the program tonight. Thanks so much, Minister, for your time tonight. Let me go to the reality on the ground. You said there were some of the commanders of these terrorist groups and bandits organization that have been neutralized. That's the language the military uses, neutralize. Being killed, we prefer, because if they are killing innocent people, let's use a language that will excite one system. They are being killed, right? Who are these people? Where were they killed? What do we know?
No, mostly in the northwest, northeast, north central. There's ongoing war. We're expanding our operations in Niger State, in Kwara State, preventing them from infiltrating towards the south, because I think that would be very dangerous, them getting there. And they understand this thing. So what they do is that they just try and get any soft target, hit it, set fire to one or two buildings, and then that's one. And then the news goes around that, look, this is going. But we're winning. I'm really glad we're winning. And I can tell you truly, I mean, December, for the first time in the Southeast, people came from abroad and didn't want to go back. They stayed, celebrated Christmas, waited till January before they started going back. It had never happened in the past. So that's just one of it. I mean, so we are working. It's not yet Uhuru. These guys will continue to want to cause pain. I mean, there is no country that is 100%. But I can tell you we're working, we're winning, and we'll continue to work harder.
But, I mean, one is curious, though. In news, terrorists killed one person, burned a church, burned police station in Niger community.
Yeah.
As well, we understand that about 160 people kidnapped in Kajuru local government in Kaduna State. How, if you say we are winning, how are these people still able to carry out these attacks?
Like I said, no country, even in the US, you can't say that they're 100% safe. Sometimes somebody takes a gun, goes to a school and shoots people. They do these things, even with all the technology. Countries have fought insurgency for 20 years. I told you Turkey did for 40 years with all the technology. So asymmetric warfare is a very, very difficult operation, because when you are dealing with people that have ideology and have nothing to lose, it is painstaking, and you must take the time to follow it all through. In the past, how we used to have so many attacks everywhere, that now it's limited to a very few areas. Like I told you, because of the heat, running away, when they get a community that is open, they just attack and run. And so when the news comes out, it looks as if nothing has been done. But so much is being done. We are continuing with the work. And we're bounded by, again, this human rights charter. So there's a lot we cannot do. Ideally, this wouldn't have lasted this long if we had the capability, if we wanted to just go to a village and flatten the whole there. So the good, the bad, and the ugly will go. Now, the whole thing comes back on the armed forces. You are being inhuman. No human rights. They were accused of a human rights violation. And I'm sure you've seen where we've had issues with some NGOs that always come after us when things happen. And the question I always ask them is that, are you not happy we're winning the war? Do you want it to continue for a very long time? Those are the issues on ground. So, but we are the only ones that will fight for ourselves as Nigerians to secure our country.
Are we possibly getting help from some of war merchants or mercenaries, they call them?
No, we don't have no mercenaries on ground. What we are doing is that anybody we're using nationals together, and it's an internationally known issue that you can partner with if you have some capacities you want to enhance. We do a lot of training on special warfare equipment. We do a lot of training on helicopters, on drone usage and all this, because we don't produce those things. So we partner with a lot of friends, that's friendly nation. Just like the way we went to Benin to go and stop the coup. Other ones, when we have issues, we're in Liberia, we're in Sierra Leone, we're in Burma, we're in Congo. Nigerians have done so much. We're in Somalia in the past. So it's just part of it. It's part of the military tradition.
We are stretched thin. The military is literally everywhere.
Yeah.
The part of the promise of the president is to get more boots on the ground. It's a campaign promise. There is a recent directive by the president for military police to recruit more. For
military and police.
For military and police.
Because it's a military police.
I mean military and the police also.
Okay, good.
So has that process started?
Yeah, very well, very well. Now, for the army, we've, apart from the depot we have at Zaria, which is the oldest, we have opened 2 new ones now, one in the southeast, one in the south. Training depot again to produce more manpower on ground. The police too is in the process also developing their own. So other security agencies are equally improving on this capacity. Sometimes it's painstaking because you need to really assess who are you bringing in. This brings us issues of database. With a good database, you'll be able to identify who and who is where. And like I said, the kinetic and the non-kinetic. The military does the kinetic. The non-kinetic has the capacity to make it a lot faster than we think. And why does it have to do with that? If you're able to know who are the Nigerians, who is coming and going out, you regulate your borders. You have good infrastructure. You have roads, water, electricity. This will help the citizens, to be able to stay indoors and put in their best in everything that they're doing, which is great. And then good governance. We have always said it. When we have the capacity, local governments are working. If our local governments are working, we'll be able to identify, because crime is local. If you have a local government with about 20, 25 local government, and you have local government chairmen that are up and doing, they'll be able to isolate who are the criminals within them, and then they can be dealt with like that. But leaving everything together, all to federal government, makes it very cumbersome. And those are the issues. So we want the state governments to empower the local governments. Let them continue to do, let them be able to hold their weekly security meetings and be reporting on weekly basis what's going on. Now, we realize that most of the motor parks are being used to ferry weapons, drugs, all these criminal activities. We want them to be identified. Yeah. Let us have which motor parks are the official ones, because most times they take advantage of the unofficial one. That's where they move those things across. So we need those things. And then so everybody has a role, from the local government to the state, the federal. The federal is doing so much. But if those other two are not putting in the best, it becomes burdensome on the federal.
Yeah, Minister, I'd like to know, someone like Prime Minister Netanyahu, Israeli Prime Minister, has said that Israel is willing to help wipe out. He was interested in the narrative of those who are killing Christians. Okay. Is Nigeria talking to Israel?
Well, Israel is our partner. They have an ambassador, and the embassy is open. They have an ambassador here. Like I said, we are talking to everybody. Whoever we think can add value to what we're doing, we'll partner with them.
There are those who think that the warfare is now becoming political in some sense. Those who are in government would think that the rise in the attacks, and you had also told me that rationally there was a lull. Yeah. All of a sudden there is a spike.
Yes.
And we identify the political nature. And who are those who are backing or funding it?
I think the NIA, the DIA, the DSS are working on that. There are some people, people have made comments that shouldn't be. You know, that's why I said that, look, I'm appealing to our leaders, especially our traditional rulers, our religious leaders. Words are very powerful. When you come in and you say certain things, you aggravate the whole issue on ground. We must seem to talk to unite the country, not to divide it. And that is very, very important. Because what you say today, people could misinterpret what you are saying to mean something else. And it will be so wrong, because many people will have died, probably because of one thing you said or didn't say. So I think that's very important for us to know, especially our leaders, people that have been in governance for so long. I think it's high time, let them allow this new generation to come in with a new mindset. If we have been doing this since independence and we're nowhere, I think there's something wrong. If you're doing the same thing for a long time and you're not getting results, which means you need to change what you are doing. So I think it's important.
Ideologically speaking, some of these people that have been neutralized and killed, and those who have been arrested, have we identified, aside the fact that there might be some emerging trends in the northeastern region of the country? If you look at how it all started, it changed over the 5-6 years in the initial stage. That warfare became something different. We saw ISWAP and the rest of other groups. The banditry and some of these the wars that we are fighting and the military is engaged in, is there a new tone to the ideological warfare that we're saying? Are we seeing infiltration from somewhere? Are these aliens, or are these local initiative by some of these insurgents?
You know, the whole terrorism thing started from the northeast, though we had Metacine in the past and all these things were quashed. But you know, what actually affects us is the aspect that when this thing starts, reports are being made and no action is taken. So it didn't start today. It's been something that's been going on for a very long time. And we need to be proactive. Just like the way the coup came in and then it was followed and then made arrests, we should have done the same thing with this. We wouldn't have gotten to where we are. But again, you know, we come and say, no, these people are just this, they are just that, we just give one reason or the other until they become monsters. And it has happened always and always. If you allow a monster to grow, you think he's coming against your enemy. He's going to come after you. This has happened repeatedly. So that's why we need to come together, unite ourselves, and fight against anybody who doesn't mean us well.
And that those who are asking, why has it been difficult for this government to name the names of those terror financiers? Why? Why has it been difficult?
No, I think some names were named. Some names are named, and arrests have been made. Prosecution is ongoing, some of them. It's not, you know, it takes so much to be able to get those facts. And because you don't want to bring somebody again and the court will tell you, throw it away, because there are no facts. Those are issues. So those facts are always very difficult to get, and then you have to follow up well. So we're working also with international bodies, NFIU and all this, so that we can trace, you know, the funding and all these issues together.
Let's take another break, and we'll be back with the minister's final thoughts. Our final moment now with the Ministry of Defense, General Christopher Musa. General Uba's execution was very sad. The audacity for it is for me, how those guys are able to do that. Is the military angry enough to really get at those who did that
Of
job?
course, very well. As we speak, we are within the Timbuktu Triangle and going around the place. And again, to tell Nigerians is we're not sure he's dead because we haven't seen any cops yet.
But they posted a video.
No, that video was not. If you notice the video, normally what they do, when they shoot, they leave the body. That's what they do for you to recover.
So we are still hoping that
he's classified as missing in action. He's not killed in action yet until we strongly believe. We have rumors that he's still alive. We're hopeful that he's still alive, and we're sure we're working towards. I visited the family just to reassure the wife and the kids, and these issues are going on. It's all part of the issues that we must learn not to allow crime and criminality to fester for whatever reason, whether religion, tribe, ethnic group, or whatever. It is what gets us to where we are. We must learn to unite. And that's why, like I said, we cannot continue throwing blame games. It is not, it is South, it is East.
So, Minister, have we overwhelmed Timbuktu area?
Yeah, it's still working.
Sambisa Forest?
Sambisa is
taking over.
Yes, troops are moving there. We're doing a lot daily in those areas. Like I said, it's vast. What they normally do is, once the heat is up, they run to another country.
What is Turkey getting from us? Turkey is giving us, but what are we giving Turkey?
We're paying.
Oh.
No, we're paying.
That's the only exchange that we're
paying, and then the friendliness, that's that friendship is
the
diplomatic tie. That is so, it gives us leverage too. So in World Council, anywhere we go, we and Turkey are on the same side. Right. We look at those issues. So there are a lot of gains from it. Right. And even beside the military aspect, we have a lot of our students. I was in Ankara, and over 1,000 Nigerian students are there. I met a lot of the youths. They were very eager and they were very happy to see us around that area. The same thing with Istanbul and all other areas. So those are things that I think that's very, very beneficial for us.
We're totally out of time, but on a parallel or political note, just have a 10 seconds response to this one. I'm very sure that you must have seen your face on the pages of the newspaper, not about the military effort, but possibility of you being a vice presidential candidate. If you are picked, how would you feel about it?
I think, I think for me it's destructive. The president has brought me to make sure that armed forces and security agencies bring peace in Nigeria. And that's what I'm focusing on. That other aspect is left.
You don't want to be a VP?
Mr. President. It's left.
You don't want to be a VP?
I mean, it's like I said, I have a task I'm doing now. I want to face that squarely.
All right.
And I don't want to be distracted.
General Christopher Musa, Minister of Defense, thank you so much indeed.
Thank you.
It's good to see you again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your effort. I appreciate it. And tonight, on behalf of every Nigerian, a salute to our gallant officers, those who are risking their lives every day, every night in protecting our integrity and the territorial integrity of this nation and our people. Thank you so much. We throw our salute to you tonight, all of you and your family. Thank you so much indeed. And that's how we end the program tonight. Thanks so much, everyone, for watching. I'm sure Akimale